let's take a small break now. You are quite senior students now. Hopefully within a year or so, many of you will pass out from the university, have a job. So you guys are close to the wedding, marriage stages and so on, right? Hopefully. Some of you may marry before graduation, some of you within 1 or 2 years, and some of you may decide to delay it and so forth. So this is, for married people, most probably, to enjoy more, and the ladies may become a little annoyed, but this is a joke, but many jokes are based on a lot of reality. So it says that in the eyes of the wife, world's best man, complete man, is the wife's father. And in the eyes of the wife, or in the eyes of the woman, world's most troubled and saddened husband is the wife's brother. The wife's brother, very innocent, very and so on. In the wife's mind, in the woman's mind, the most beautiful man in the world is her son. In the wife's mind, the most lucky person, the most lucky man in the world is the husband of her sister. Your wife is there. The most lucky man in the world is the husband of her sister. And the worst man in the world, he is totally bad. He does not know anything. He cannot do anything good. Who is that? You know, the husband. So, if this is a joke, it's okay. If this is the reality, why does everybody want to marry, right? But about marriage, it is very famous that it is that fruit. The people who have not eaten this fruit, they are unhappy. And the people who have eaten this fruit, they are also unhappy. Okay. So, with that, let us get back to the course. We already described the different parts of arc welding and so on. So now let us go to the part which you like more, right? The calculation part and so on. And look at the heading, heat transfer in arc welding. When we were doing casting, remember when we were doing casting, we were doing fluid mechanics of casting. Now we are doing heat transfer in arc welding. So there also I reminded you, here also I remind you that when as a student you are doing the different courses, you feel that, you see, it is just that these professors, they just want to burden and load us with lots of different courses, and they are not necessary at all. And when you talk to your friends, of course your friends in the industry are not very senior. They are only 2 years, 3 years senior. They say, yes, you see, in the industry we have worked for 2 years, 3 years. We don't need any of the education that the university gave us. Practical thing is something else. But I reminded you during casting that if you don't know the Bernoulli equation and the continuity equation and so on, you can't do simple calculations like the sprue design and the speed and the time and so on. Here, arc welding, if you don't know basic thermodynamics and heat transfer, you can't do calculations about arc welding and so forth. What happens is, what people don't realize, that you see, somebody has designed the process for you. If you are using this only, if you are only using the process, you only learn how to do the practical, how to do the experiment, how to do the manufacturing. But you are not producing the machine, the equipment, the tool. So all the design part and all the manufacturing part that went in that, you are not doing it. So therefore you feel that, oh, it is not required. But you see, whether you go into the oil field or the metal field or some chemical field, all the machines and the equipments and tools have to be designed and manufactured in some place. Unfortunately, if our countries are not very advanced in science and technology and engineering, then we just buy all the equipment and tools, and even if we learn how to use it well, we say we are very good engineers, but we are totally dependent on the others. Because if somebody stops the supply of the tools to you, your industry is gone. If they stop the supply of the equipment and the machines to you, your industry is gone, right? So engineering is not only the use of the machines, but the design and manufacturing of the machines and the tools. And people who are actually doing all the engineering have to know all the math and all the physics and so on. Okay, so now back to heat transfer in arc welding. Heat input, how much heat energy is input? H upon L, this is a small l, is equal to E capital V I small v. H is the heat input, the energy. Capital V is the voltage. Small v is the welding speed. Small l, sorry, this is a small l is the weld length, and capital I is the current, and a small e is the efficiency of the process. So this is the equation. I am not doing any derivation here. I am not even telling you what is the basic physics thermodynamics from where it is coming. I am just directly giving you the equation, right? Because we are towards the end of the semester, we can very easily derive it. This is not a big issue. But heat per unit length is efficiency, voltage, current, welding speed. From another viewpoint, heat input to melt a certain volume of material. Heat to melt a certain volume of material is again heat. It is the same heat, but this is now U into volume. And volume, of course, is area into length, right? If there is a rod, a cylinder, then the cross-sectional area into the length. If the cross-sectional area is a square, but then the area of the square into the length, so this is the volume. So A into L is the volume, and U is the specific energy. A specific energy. Remember, in your chemistry and physics, a specific energy is energy per unit volume. So if you know the energy per unit volume of the material that you are using for welding, then you multiply, this is energy per unit volume multiplied by the volume, you get the energy or the heat. Okay, so from these two are the basic equations. This is one equation for the heat input, this is another equation for the heat input. And then the welding speed, if you want to join them, this one and that one, and you separate out V on the others, right? So join them together first, right? For H, write UAL there. For H, write UAL. So this UAL comes here, L and L cancel out, and then separate V on one side. So you will get V is equal to E capital V I UA. So the welding speed, at what speed should you weld to get a good weld? Efficiency, voltage, current, the specific energy of the material, the cross-sectional area of the rod that you are using, right? And here two very general things that later on we will see that in electric welding, one method is shielded metal arc welding, and the other is gas metal arc welding or submerged arc welding. So if you are doing this one, shielded metal arc welding, which is also generally called only arc welding, then the efficiency should be taken as 75%, 0.75. Or if you are doing gas metal arc welding or submerged arc welding, these are automatic, semi-automatic methods. This is totally manual. So then the efficiency can go up to 90%, right? So these are some general guidelines that if in any question the efficiency is given, it is good. If the efficiency is not given, see if it is normal arc welding, 75%. If it is gas metal or submerged arc welding, then 90% efficiency, right? So this is the efficiency value. And now with this, you can do different things. You can see how much heat energy do I need to produce to get the welding done. This is one type of thing, right? What type of material should you select with what type of a specific energy to give a good welding? What should be the welding speed, right? The hand of the welder should move at a certain speed. If you move too quickly, the welding has not been completed. If you move too slowly, too much melting is there and now welding cannot be done properly, right? So an optimum welding speed is important, isn't it? An optimum welding speed is important. As I said, if you move very fast, then enough energy has not been supplied and they have not melted and joined and fused completely. So it is a weak weld, incomplete weld. But if you spend too much time in one place by going very slow welding speed, then you are applying too much energy and it is doing much more than the amount of melting that you want to have for a good welding. So therefore the speed of the welding is also optimum, right? So here that is what I am saying. In these equations, the heat required, the specific energy of the material required, what should be the current and so on setting, what should be the welding speed, right? So these are the basic equations for arc welding, electric arc welding of any. And here is a table, just like for normal material properties, we keep on sending you to chapter 2, which is not included in manufacturing, but chapter 2 is about the material properties. So in chapter 2, you have the K and the N, which are the two constants that are needed for plastic work, or the C and the M, which are the two constants needed for plastic work or stress at high temperature. So similarly, now if you are in welding, then this table 12.3 is there. Materials are here and their specific energies in the two units. This is the SI unit, joule per millimeter cube, and this is the PSI unit, British thermal unit per cubic inch. So aluminum and alloys, cast irons, copper, bronze, magnesium, nickel, steels, stainless steels, titanium, and the values are there, a specific energy. Some only one value is there, some is a range, and I told you that if there is a range given, then generally we take the average, 9.1 plus 10.3 upon 2, we take the average of the range generally. But of course, if you are specifically in an industry where welding is being done, then the very exact values will be known, because everybody there is doing welding of only one or two specific metals. So exact value, right? So here in this table, the specific energy of different metals, which are the common metals, is there, and we can take it from here. So if it is a homework, right, then you take these specific energies from here. If it is a quiz or an exam, then with the formulas, maybe this table is included there. So if this table is included, then you can find the specific energy from the formula tables, or this value is given directly inside the question. So it could be any of the things. So with that, we come to your favorite part, an example, right? Estimating the welding speed for different materials. The welding speed for different materials. Consider the situation where a welding operation is being performed with voltage 20 volts, current 200 amperes. The cross-sectional area of the weld bead is 30 millimeter square. Weld bead means where you are welding, that cross-sectional area is 30 millimeter square. Estimate the welding speed small v, if the workpiece and electrode are made of aluminum, one choice, carbon steel, second choice, titanium, third choice, and use an efficiency of 75%, right? So this means that normal arc welding is being done anyhow. Normal arc welding is being done for 75% efficiency. So very, very simple. There is nothing complicated. For aluminum, go to the table, find the specific energy. For carbon steel, go to the table. For titanium, go to the table, find the values, capital V, capital I, capital A area, small e efficiency, right? I am showing you that the table is here. So if you are going for aluminum, then you find the value, and for welding speed, this is the equation. So just plug in the values, and you have the answer, right? You have the answer. So as I always say, that please solve this yourself rather than looking at my solution. It will give you more strength and so on. And then do it for the different materials. We have 3 materials, right? So if we solve for only one here as a sample, you solve it for all the other 3. Today we will stop here, and inshallah we will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Ma'as salama.